Mention Asia and water and you'd probably think monsoon, the annual deluge so critical to Asian agriculture. And you'd also think vast areas of irrigated paddy fields, the stuff of tourist postcards. But apparently, appearances can be deceiving, because Asia is developing a water shortage, and already it's causing an unfolding crisis.
The water crisis in Asia, I believe, are the result of three principal factors. One is, of course, the increased demand for food. 80% of Asia's freshwater resources go to irrigated agriculture, so that's a huge factor. The other is rapid industrialization, which, because of the resultant pollution, has put pressure on the freshwater resources. And finally, of course, rapid urbanization, which is where all the water is going now into Asia's towns and cities.
Potentially, it's a massive crisis. Just take three major rivers among the many thousands in Asia: the Mekong, the Yangtze, and the Wanghe or Yellow River. Their source is in the Tibetan Plateau or close to it. They are critical to sustain people, agriculture and industry along their course.
There are about 580 million people within this basin, and all estimates seem to indicate that we're going to end up having some sort of crunch in terms of water resources in this critical area of Asia.
That's over 500 million people just there. And the fact is that the glaciers and snowmelt in China's mountains and Tibet are already under threat from climate change. But the crisis is also one of water management. It's a slowly shrinking supply meets growing population and rapid industrialisation scenario.
Oh, indeed, very. If you look at irrigated agriculture, which, as I said, has the largest draw on water, irrigation efficiencies vary greatly between 25 and 55%. If you look at urban water, you will find that about 30 billion cubic meters of treated water in Asia are lost every year, valued at about between 9 and 10 billion US dollars. So there is indeed a lot of wastage.
Not only a lot of wastage, but much of Asia's water supply is badly polluted.
In Philippines, where I live, we have 412 rivers, of which 50 are considered biologically dead. And this is something that is beginning to worry policymakers, planners and environmental managers right across Asia.
The other factor in the crisis is the growing westernisation of Asia. Each day across Asia, around 200,000 people move from rural areas to cities. While cities are economic drivers, they deliver an increasing Western lifestyle as incomes rise. Westernisation is also water intensive.
In one sense, you have the very real problem of the physical resources dwindling, and this is because of the huge population that we actually have in Asia. The fact that this huge population wants to have a Western lifestyle and therefore is rapidly industrializing. And as it is rapidly industrializing, the hydraulic power of these societies is starting to dwindle.
In Asia itself, over the last 20 years, as incomes have risen, meat consumption, for instance, has doubled in China in the last 20 years and is forecast to double again in the next 20. Many more people are today eating foods that are water intensive. And when you couple that with the fact that irrigated agriculture really hasn't increased in efficiency, you really have a serious problem across Asia.
The other serious problem is that water is a strategic commodity. No society can do without it. As water supplies dwindle, competition for the scarce resource increases. Unfortunately, rivers flow through districts, states and across borders. Downstream users are usually in some sort of conflict with upstream users. Tensions over water could escalate into full-blown political disputes. Is it possible we could see wars over water?
I don't think so. I think the tension that is already there amongst countries with regard to sharing water is going to be really translated into a series of consultations and collaboration. It is too fundamental a resource to require anything other than a negotiated settlement.
Even now, many countries along the Mekong are opposed or nervous as China builds dams across the river. Already,